it's not easy living on the res. But as a native person, it's when you learn how to interconnect with everything around you, you find out that you're not lonely. That everything is connected to each other, and you learn how to accept things that you cannot change, and how to live with no expectation. Like you raise your children not to expect a whole bunch of things. Like toys and stuff. And throwing fits in the store and stuff like that. And I want. So if you teach them to learn to grow up just simple and to learn to use their imagination, and if you teach them how to, with discipline, just to sit still without slapping your kid around, maybe, the kids would grow up with a much more different way than the Western world has conditioned us to be like. And so by learning to live simple too, we're also helping the earth, because we're not contributing to mass produced oil and the need for a lot of things. If you're taught to live with the earth, you learn how to take care of food, how to dry food, how to grow food. So that's how we can contribute as a human being to this world, is just learning how to accept and learning how not to live with expectation. So then as you grow up, you don't have to unlearn all those things and spend another 40 years how to undo the damage, undo the conditioning damage that the Western world has taught us how to live. And maybe we could survive as people if all people learn how to just accept things as simple as they can, and know that every time we go shopping in those malls and just getting stuff that we don't need and whatever, we're contributing to mass production of things. And because they're mass producing or whatever, they use a bunch of chemicals in the foods. They feed a lot of the animals with chemicals in the foods, and the reason why they do all that is because they want their crop to make it, so they can go to sell, and they have to feed a lot of people, so that's why things are the way they are. So here on Pine Ridge, a lot of people we get commodities and whatever, but because of the way we're living now, people are getting sick. So if we learn how to live in a natural way and eat naturally from the earth, and return back to the buffalo and learn how to just be mindful in the things that we do and how we live, maybe we're going to survive. Well, we help each other out here. Somebody needs something, pass it on, If they need something, go help them. That's how we do things. But now that this disease has come among the people or whatever, it makes it hard. Remember, as children, our houses were made from wood, from the trees. From our first expression of how we felt among the trees as children, our homes were built from wood and the trees. We were always connected from birth. We returned back to the fires and learned how our old ways were. Even the frames we built our hides were from wood. My dancing stick, I have a relationship with. You have to when you pray and you do a stick. And our grandparents, they lived and they built their lodges from the trees, connected to the earth and the human. This is the boarding school days. This is a representation of the old days I was proud to do. And come back around We learn the old ways of life. Sometimes it's hard, but we have to keep on going and ride. I learned how to live like the old way of life, and it made me happy. I visited the places I visited as a child. The trees are still standing. Our canoes are made out of trees. So we learn how to ride hard. Even our prayer instruments are made from trees. And the cradle boards, the cradles are made from different trees. Our teepees are made from different poles, and each pole has a meaning. In the earth is connects to human also. Even our meat are dried on wood and from the trees. We standing in a wooden house, nice and warm, and even our frames are made from wood. Even my paintings are made from handmade structures, always connected to the trees. My grandparents, she lived by a 7-mile road out in their country. I wouldn't get a chance to meet the people that I've met if it wasn't for returning back to the old ways and coming and making a journey. I wouldn't learn how to be a good Indian again. Sickness brought me to this part of my life to learn how to respect and love nature, how to paint it and express it in my art. And as I stood here with a blanket, I remember how it is to smell the smoke, remember the fires.
How does it make you feel?
Always.
It's hot, thirsty now.
Good. We're hoping he makes it.
It's hot here. What do you think about this experience?
That it was a new and interesting experience.
Okay. Well, thank you for helping me do this. And we'll see how it comes out. I know it's really hot up here, so
What's it like being planted like a tree?
Very unstable. We're not sturdy as a tree, so wobbly.
So we're planting the human into the earth before we plant the tree. And as we plant the human into the earth, because we come from the earth, we should kind of meditate on what a tree feels like as they're standing there in the earth. And the meditation goes something like this. When Valerie was 12 years old, I went into the woods, and they were gone to school, and I thought I made a mistake. What am I doing out here in the middle of nowhere? And so I went and I picked the biggest pine tree I could find, and I sat by it, and I leaned up against it, and I fell asleep, and suddenly I was sucked into the tree, and then I felt the tree, but its consciousness was different than a human being's. Its consciousness roamed from the tips of the branches to the bottom of the roots. And I could taste and I could smell the earth and how it felt, the tree, how it felt. And then I could go to the very tips of the leaves and feel the leaves. And my consciousness didn't have the consciousness like a human. The consciousness was one of pureness. It had no hate, it had no anger. It had no fear, it had no sadness. It just had happiness. And each tree had a song. And when it came to the earth. So it's like the human being when it's first created in its mother. Tunkashla comes and there's a song for that newest life form. And Tunkashla gives that song to that baby, and because he loves the baby, that new life, so much, just like it does a tree. So if we can imagine that we're standing there and we become that tree, how it feels and how the pureness of the heart of the tree
is, and how it's willing sometimes to give its life so that humans can survive. But they also have songs that they sing, and if you listen carefully, sometimes if you spend some time out with the tree, it will sing for you. It'll talk to you, because some manifest as like a male, and some manifest like a female, and but they are just very, very happy. And the wind is connected somehow very, very close to the trees, and our ancestors talk to those trees. When the wind comes, you can hear the trees. They make a certain noise. So in Anishinaabe language, it's called Sisikwadi, and it means the talking trees, and how the trees talk, and how the wind and the ancestors know this. Some of them don't know it when they're alive, but they find out when they cross over that everything is connected. Everything is interconnected. Everything has a feeling, and whatever we do to us as human beings, we do to everything else that's alive. So our negativity is manifested somehow with trees. They feel it. They have feelings. It's scientifically proven that trees are sentient beings, that they actually feel, and they all actually respond, and so does water. Water responds in a very beautiful way, but it also responds in a very kind of abstract kind of designs. It's proven that water changes. It's you can see that it's unhappy, but when it feels good, and you sing to the water, then it becomes like pure, beautiful like snowflake designs. But so everything is connected. So the tree is a part of you, inside of you, and inside of Mama there. She has a tree on her back there. Our lungs are in the shape of a tree. The placenta of the baby is in the shape of a tree. Many things in our bodies are just a mirror into the universe of what we actually are. We have rivers and mountains, and we have the sun. And the sun is the fire in our heart. And when we get real happy, we have that fire rise inside of us, that fire. But then some people have an angry fire that they manifest. You okay? Oh, you didn't hurt yourself, did you? Okay. Does the dirt hurt your foot? Okay. All right. So we got to 6 minutes. We can go 4 more minutes. Can you go 4 more minutes? No?
We need to at least make it a little bit bigger. Can you not film us making it bigger? I can't stand.
Okay, make it a little bigger then. Remember the old ones. Remember the TP teachings of our old way of life. Remember as a child how you played among the trees. Remember the ancestors, how they survived out in the prairie in harsh weather. Remember the love and the teachings of your grandparents.